Hi friends, my name is Bhavya Mangla. I am IETF qualified author having a total experience of more than 32 years. I'm again back with a very interesting topic, and here again I'm going to talk about diversity, equity and inclusion as per ISO 30415. And today I'm going to talk about the 6 key fundamental things which are the prerequisite with respect to this particular standard. And by the time this video will end, you will understand more clearly about what is diversity, what is equity, what is inclusion, why it is important, and what are the 6 key fundamental things which organizations can effectively implement in their organization. If you look around ourselves, you can see that what is happening. There's always a gap between men and women. There are many countries wherein it is always preferred to have a male child rather than female child. In many countries, still it is quite prevalent that after the marriage, the main position, the dominant power is still with the male. And there are so many gaps and inequalities which can be seen in all parts of the world. Something is really and similar kind of thing is expected with respect to organization also, where diversity, equity and inclusion is important in case the organization is thinking about economic growth or sustainable development. If we talk about the different sustainable development goals, which are 17 in numbers, there are 4 goals which are related to this particular standard ISO 30415. The first one is SDG goal number 5, which is about gender equality. Then number 8 is talking about decent work and economic growth. Then 9 is talking about industry, innovation and infrastructure. And the last is number 10, which is talking about reduced inequalities. When we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, as per clause number 4 of ISO 30415, there are 6 fundamental prerequisites which are specified. And once an organization understands and effectively implement that, then there can be a very solid base on which they can work on it. So I'll go through that one by one. The first one is talking about recognizing diversity. Now, this is the basic and the most important thing, that whether the top management really feels to recognize that yes, they should have a diversity in their organization. Generally, it is said that there are 3 kind of different diversities. One is visible, invisible, and the personal. When we talk about visible diversity, is something that we can see around here when we see people of different religions, different cultures, different behavior, ethnicities. When we talk about invisible, then generally it is about the status, it is about the color, it is about the way in which people are talking, and based on that, we create some diversity. And the third is personal diversity. It's a combination of both visible and invisible diversity. So, for example, as per the study in America in 1960s, there were less than 20% of the students in school that were from other backgrounds, say from minority or blacks and all that. By the time it was 1980, that percentage increased to 29%, and now it is more than 60%. Now, as the numbers are changing from 20 to more than 60, it's also very important for the teachers to re-educate themselves, to understand the people who are coming from different ethnicity, culture, race, so that when they're talking to them, when they're teaching them, they are taking care about all those things. Number 2 is talking with respect to governing effectively. Now, one thing is to implement diversity. The second thing and the most important thing is that how we can effectively govern that in the organization. Because unless and until it is effectively implemented, nothing is going to happen. We'll just have some lip talk and things will not change. Like, for example, in India, it has been decided that all the listed companies will have at least one board member, which is a female member. And then very recently in India, the parliament passed a rule that at least 33% of the seats in both assemblies and the Lok Sabha will be from the female. So these are the different ways in which organization can also govern and can see that how they can increase the diversity in their organization. It's not only about women only, there are different things which needs to be done with respect to that. Then coming to point number 3, wherein we are talking with respect to acting accountability. Now, one thing is we are talking about it. Second thing is we have made the rules about it. The third thing is who is accountable for that and how we are checking that. So, for example, we set a baseline that this is the place where we are and this is where we have to go. Then are we regularly checking that where we are we reaching somewhere or we are still here? That is something which is very important. And organizations where there's an accountability, there's a very high possibility that organizations can effectively implement diversity and equality. The next very, very interesting thing is talking about working inclusively. Now, when we talk about working inclusively, so here the intent is that, okay, we identify diversity. Now we have people from different culture, religions, caste, and all those things. But then, are all they working together? Are we giving equal importance to all of them or not? Is it not happening that we are just giving some importance to a particular region or particular color, and all the other people that are doing some low end job? That thing should not happen. And as per the reports, it has been seen that organizations who are working inclusively, there is a very high possibility that their growth is better, their sustainability is better, and the profitability is comparatively higher than those companies who don't follow all that. The next is talking with respect to communicating inclusively. Now, it's a very interesting thing to understand that when we talk to the people from different cultures, religion, caste, and other things, are we taking care about the sensibilities? Are we taking care that, say for example, in India there are 20 different languages. So if we have people, say from Tamil language, Telugu language, Bengali, Hindi, English, how we are making sure that people are understanding whatever the organization is communicating? There can be people who cannot see, so there can be a provision for the braille language so that people can read by the braille reader. And there can be many more different kind of communications which organization can think about it, so that people from all kind of cultures can understand about that. There can be some people who may not be able to read anything. So what to do, how to do the communication so that they can understand what company is thinking about that. And the last and the most important thing is advocating and championing diversity and inclusion. Unless and until the top management seriously thinks that yes, diversity and inclusion is important, nothing is going to happen. And it is generally been seen that the Fortune 500 companies, many of the companies, they have a different vertical where there's a person called CDO, Chief Diversity Officer. And the role of this person is to see that whether any discrimination is there in the organization, whether it is being ensured that everyone is given all the rights irrespective of from where they are coming from. And when the organizations have these kind of systems, things become much easier, things become much better, and there is a very high possibility that organization can grow in a much faster pace than their competitors. So if I do a summary, I talked about 4 SDG goals which are linked with this particular standard. Then I talked about the 6 different fundamental prerequisites which are very important to ensure that organizations are aligning themselves with respect to different cultures, religions, so that they can get the maximum benefit out of it. My next video will again, with respect to diversity, equity and inclusion, we will be talking a little bit more about another clause of ISO 30415. Regularly, I'm getting a lot of feedback from your side and they're helping me to understand your expectations. So please do continue that. And in case you want to understand a little bit more about this particular video, you'll find a link below. If you click that, you'll find a blog there. And there, you will find this information in much more detail. And in case you're liking these kind of blogs and videos, you can always share with your friends and colleagues. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel and my website, bhavyamangla.com. Thank you.